This program is brought to you by Emory University.
My name is Carolina Montero. I'm from Chile. I'm currently working at two universities there. One is a state university called Universidad de Chile, and I work there in the Faculty of Medicine, teaching bioethics to medical students. And the other university I work in is called Universidad Alberto Hurtado, and it's the Jesuit university in Chile. And I work there in the Faculty of Psychology, giving ethics to undergrads and postgrads. I'm also in the middle of my thesis. I'm just halfway through. I'm doing it in Spain, which is where I got my master's degree in ethics and bioethics. And the theme of my thesis is vulnerability towards a more humane ethics. So it's like exploring the concept of vulnerability in the ethics. But it is interdisciplinary, which is one of the reasons that I was so interested in coming here. Well, my research started really in a European context because I'm doing my thesis in Spain. But I started finding out that a lot of people cited Martha Feynman and her work. So I looked her up and I found about the Vulnerability and Human Condition Initiative. And I was so excited that in a university it could be like like an official place to research and to teach, and so I thought that maybe it wouldn't be possible for somebody to write about vulnerability without knowing about this theory more deeply. So then I wrote to her, and I was invited to a workshop, and that's how I got here. Well, as I said, my research is interdisciplinary, and so far I've been working on the psychological and the sociological and the philosophical and theological points of view, but I hadn't really gotten into studying it from a legal point of view. So for me, it's been very interesting to see how vulnerability can be, as a concept, can be applied to law and state policies. So it hasn't informed it yet, but in what is to come, I'm sure that I'll be incorporating it and stating it as a fact of a way that vulnerability can inform the way people are thinking. Well, I think it's really important for me and as a context for the people who read my work to know that I didn't come to the vulnerability subject like from a theoretical point of view, but more from an experienced phenomenological point. I did my master's degree on ethics and I worked on vulnerability as a final paper. And the reception that work has had really amazed me, because I feel like everybody relates to the vulnerability subject just because of the common human vulnerable condition. So many people have come to tell me about their own vulnerabilities and how they experience them after reading what I have to say, like in a more abstract, theoretical way. So it's definitely not only informed my research, it's informed my teaching, my way of relating to others, and my way of looking at the world. Well, the first thing I hope to accomplish is to get my PhD degree so I can continue working as an academic. I would really like to reproduce an initiative like this in a university in Chile. My country has a lot of vulnerability issues, and the state is not the most responsive one to those issues. And I feel like the role of a university in a country is not only to form students or to produce academic work, but it has a public function in the city, in the world, in the country, to make a more just society. And I think the way we think informs the way we relate to each other, and the way we make laws, and the way we build a society together. So I would really hope that if this goes right, I can make with others an instance like this in my own country. I think it can be applied to all disciplines, not just law. And I think that it really liberates people when they just can be vulnerable, because we're all vulnerable. It can create new types of relationships and new types of ethic responsibility towards each other. So first, my degree. Second, the possibility of reproducing an instance like this in my country. Well, I feel like I already have taken a lot. Firstly, the relationships with people, getting to know and interact with people in a different culture. As I said, my work is mostly focused on the European reality, and because I'm Latin American, it also has that point of view. But the United States has a very particular culture, and is living a very particular historical moment in politics, and in the way the country is reacting to a lot of issues. So it's been very interesting to just be here and listen and see and try to understand a different culture. Also, all the networking that you can do in instances like the workshop we had last week. Getting to know people from Australia, from Ghana, from different countries, from England, and just to listen and open up to what others are thinking and how they're thinking about it. It really has already given me a lot, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So I hope to take a concrete, better understanding of Martha Feynman's vulnerability theory. But apart from that, which is like the minimum, a lot more things have been going on in these 10 days.